It's a tale that dates back to the late 1800s. Non-citizens are being allowed to vote in American elections. Today, the myth is as prevalent as ever. So what's the truth? From the late 1770s until the 1820s, voting requirements were not tied to citizenship. Massachusetts provides an ordinary example. Its 1780 Constitution reads, "Every male person, being 21 years of age and resident in any particular town in this Commonwealth, for the space of 1 year next preceding, having a freeholding estate within the same town, of the annual income of £3, or any estate of the value of £60, shall have the right to vote in the choice of a representative or representatives for the said town." All male inhabitants who met these financial qualifications were permitted to vote regardless of citizenship status. Congress itself promoted non-citizen voting in the Northwest Ordinance of 1789, which gave freeholding aliens with 2 years of residency the vote for territorial legislative representatives. In Illinois, non-citizens held voting rights until 1848, but maintained alien suffrage for those with 6 months residency until 1870. During the first 150 years of United States history, 40 states allowed non-citizens to vote in local, state, and federal elections at different points. Arkansas was the last state to repeal this practice in 1926. It has been illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections since 1996. So, are non-citizens voting at an alarming rate? A Brennan Center for Justice study of the 2016 election found, in the jurisdictions we studied, very few non-citizens voted in the 2016 election. Across 42 jurisdictions, election officials who oversaw the tabulation of 23.5 million votes in the 2016 general election referred only an estimated 30 incidents of suspected non-citizen voting for further investigation or prosecution. In other words, improper non-citizen votes accounted for 0.0001% of the 2016 votes in those jurisdictions. 40 of the jurisdictions, all but 2 of the 42 we studied, reported no incidents of non-citizen voting in 2016. All of the officials we spoke with said that the incidence of non-citizen voting in prior years was not significantly greater than in 2016. An investigation in Georgia found 1,634 non-citizens have attempted to register to vote over 25 years, Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger said in 2022. Ultimately, no one was registered. Rutgers University political scientist Professor Lorraine Minette told PolitiFact that fraudulent voter registration, or voting by non-citizens, is often a result of misunderstandings or errors. For example, some non-citizens accidentally register to vote when applying for a driver's license, but the number of people who fall into this category is minuscule. A recent study in Arizona, first reported by the Washington Post, found that less than 1% of non-citizens attempt to register to vote, and even in those cases, the vast majority are thought to be mistakes. The Heritage Foundation maintains a database dating back to 1979 that it says includes a sampling of election fraud cases brought by prosecutors. In that period, about 2 billion votes have been cast in federal elections, according to a calculation for the fact-checker by the Brennan Center for Justice. A recent search of the Heritage database by the Washington Post found 85 cases involving allegations of non-citizen voting from 2002 to 2023. The Heritage Foundation database lists 10 non-citizens that were found to have voted illegally in Illinois between 2009 and 2018. 7 received criminal convictions. 3 were ordered deported. 1 was given 100 hours of community service in order to pay a fine. Non citizens risk facing severe consequences if they choose to vote illegally, including a prison term of up to 5 years if citizenship status was intentionally misrepresented, a fine of up to $250,000, denial of citizenship, and deportation. Because there are records of who votes, detection is very easy. Voting records can be and are reviewed or compared to lists of ineligible voters to identify anyone ineligible by election administrators, political parties, and activists.